Welcome back to Inside Look, an Inside Ambition segment where we take a deep dive into something important happening here at Drexel. I'm Alexandra George. Before we get started, I just want to remind you to make sure that you are subscribed to our brand new YouTube channel and you're following our Instagram. Oh, and while you're at it, why don't you just go ahead and like this video, because we all know you're going to. I'm just too charming. I know that you probably don't think of me as much more than a two-dimensional figure who rants way too much and never leaves her bedroom, but I'm also a Drexel student just like you watching this right now. Unless, of course, you're my dad. In that case, hi Dad, I'll call you back soon, I promise. And as Drexel students, it's not uncommon for us to fall victim time and time again to the jokes cracked by friends from other universities about our hefty tuition. But come on, Mario's abs, they come at a price. The high price tag of Drexel grants us a fabulous geographic location, not to mention a revered institution and a pioneer in the co-op respect. But some might argue, all might argue, that with online classes, the college experience just isn't the same. Plus, the price of tuition has become burdensome in the current climate. Many college students and their parents or guardians lost jobs due to COVID-19. The pandemic has caused ripples of financial hardships all across the country and the world, and our Drexel community is no different. Drexel's Undergraduate Student Government Association, USGA, or the USGA that doesn't know how to play golf, they're pioneers themselves and they are here to save the day. USGA has proposed a continued tuition freeze with further tuition reduction and the implementation of a student stimulus fund. Uh-oh, lots of big words. You know what that means. Now let's take an inside look. Who USGA is or what they do, but they work to bridge the gap between the student body and the administration. They serve as advocates for us as students and provide a direct line of communication to administrators like Kim Golston, Sabir Sahu, and Katie Zamolinsky. Don't know who any of those people are? Scroll down to the bottom of your emails, people. USGA has made great strides over the past 5 years alone. They got brand new furniture for the library that we can't use now, but whatever, it's fine. They also helped to plan the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society project with seating and an outdoor stage that was supposed to be built in front of UCross. Oh, but that got postponed because of, the global pandemic. Oh, but you might have seen last week on Thunder Index that they got the university to develop an Office of Sustainability, which you probably don't care about, but I promise is really cool. And now they are tackling the biggest challenge Drexel has ever seen. No, not trying to get the men's basketball team to the NCAA playoffs, be realistic here, but everybody's favorite cool aunt, COVID-19. According to the proposal, the unemployment rates for college-age individuals have tripled from 18.4% to 24.4% between the springs of 2019 and 2020 due to COVID-19. Young people were disproportionately affected by COVID-related unemployment due to the typical entry-level positions that they take up, just like co-op. The Steinbright Career Development Center reported a 7% decline in employment for the fall-winter co-op cycle from this year to last, and in the spring-summer, there was a whopping 16% drop. And for those students lucky enough to have been employed on co-op this past year, many of them faced hourly and salary reductions. All of this goes to say that many students at this point are barely covering the cost of housing and food. Plus, as we covered last week on our show, the majority of resident assistants who rely on the university for housing and income were laid off for months. According to the proposal, Drexel undergraduate students work roughly 50 hours a week on academics alone. I think we can all agree That barely leaves us enough time to take on a part-time job, let alone watch the first season of Bridgerton, a romantic period drama with a diverse and captivating cast available now on Netflix. Hashtag not an ad, but it could be. Call me. In his message, Hanlon mentioned that Drexel boasted a campaign that raised over $600 million this past spring. Couldn't the same efforts be put forth in order to raise money for the basic needs of students? And as I'm sure you are all well aware, so sorry to remind you, but college students did not receive stimulus checks from the CARES Act, as we are listed as dependents when our parents and guardians file for taxes. Drexel, on the other hand, who doesn't have a daddy to depend on, besides Mario, who is like literally the only reason people come to this school, they got over $6.5 million from the CARES Act to, quote, assist students with expenses related to disruptions of their educations due to the COVID-19 outbreak, such as unanticipated travel, additional technology requirements, or other needs related to an emergency situation. Even though that sounds vague and all-encompassing, several students were denied when asked for COVID relief through the CARES Act. If you or someone you know was denied money through the CARES Act, let us know down below. Many students were denied when they asked for support in reference to housing and other living expenses. And since when does the university get to decide what actually is and isn't an emergency? If I need money to support my online shopping addiction and therefore my mental health, I would consider that to be pretty emergent. In response, USGA has proposed a long-term solution instead of a temporary one. A proposal like this can set precedent for future responses so the university is being proactive instead of reactive. Just in case there's another global pandemic. Hanlon said this program should not mirror the existing Student Emergency Fund, which provides a short-term solution to an often long-term issue. This new fund should instead be designed to assist students on a one-time basis or longer as needed. Flexibility fatigue and overall financial strain due to COVID has negatively affected retention rates here at Drexel, as many students can't rely on future endeavors to support them in a time of current financial hardship. Looking inward to our own community only signifies a need for COVID relief that other universities have already addressed or are in the process of addressing. Due to the effects of the pandemic, Temple announced back in May that it was going to freeze undergraduate and graduate tuition for the entire 2020 to 2021 academic year. According to a statement released in July by Temple officials, the tuition freeze would save students a combined $15 million while keeping the university financially stable. Additionally, Temple still plans to give out over $100 million in financial aid this academic year. It is important to note that while Drexel and Temple exist in close proximity, they are two very different institutions, private and public respectively. The University of Pennsylvania, however, is a private institution just like Drexel. Penn officials announced in early August that there would be a tuition freeze at the previous year's rate for both the fall and spring semesters. According to the Student Registration and Financial Services Department of the university, there is a delayed billing timeline and a Penn payment plan that needs to be applied by students. While this may sound well and good coming from Philly's Ivy League university, it seems like many students are less than satisfied. Surprise, surprise. The Daily Pennsylvanian, Penn's school newspaper, published an article in August titled, "Not Even the Bare Minimum. Penn's students demand more than just a tuition freeze." The triangle could never. It seems like the resounding sound emitting from the entirety of University City is, "Help, we need COVID relief." And also, "Can you please reopen the Starbucks at 34th and Lancaster? We need caffeine." If you want to express your need for COVID relief, make sure that you've signed USGA's petition, linked down below in the description. You can also share your story in our comment section down below. And as always, to stay up to date with all of our content, make sure to follow our Instagram at inside_ambition and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.